The leaked letter from the DiNapoli, the comptroller in the state of New York, questioning whether or not this money that has gone into nanotech and Nano Utica was going to be enough to end up turning into the number of jobs that have been forecast. So a great deal of fallout came yesterday. We did have Assemblyman Brindisi on. A guy by the name of Mario called up, and Mr. Doom and Gloom, we call him, because that's what he is. And I have some more things I can share on what he has had to say. But we've had some response. Some positive, some negative. Love the negatives.
This is an email I got after the show. I'll just read it. As someone who was in the business of the business development arena for 25 years, I point out that the discussion you and Keeler are having this morning misses the central point. And Keeler sure does not understand it at all.
Well, this guy, first of all, are you going to...
It's Roger Pataki.
Who thinks I'm a moron to begin with. I love Roger. That's with a D, by the way, Rodger. He corrected me once.
There's a difference between government providing incentives for economic development and then government speculating with tax dollars with the hope of attracting development and jobs that it may bring. The first is that a company commits to a project with its own resources, then the government provides incentives to that commitment. They may include tax breaks, low interest financing, grants, etc. But there is private money on the table in a real committed fashion. The second, speculation, is that government fronts money, in the case of Nano, a lot of money, and then tries to secure the real private investment. It is, in other words, a gamble. To my knowledge, there's no private financial commitment that is secure or secured yet in either the Quad City project or the AMS one. In other words, the taxpayers taking all of the risk. This is not how to do economic development and not how other states do it.
It is how other states do it. We're not the only one doing it this way. But beyond that, there hasn't been any debate about that. We didn't debate that yesterday. What he is talking about is that's the wrong policy. That's not what we were talking about yesterday, right? So his is an opinion because he thinks we're morons. We don't know anything. That is his opinion on policy. The fact is they chose to do it differently. They chose to use taxpayer dollars, and there is private money that has been pledged and promised in this in both of these projects, both with GE and with AMS. So what's he talking about? Where were we wrong? And where we were wrong is our own speculation, saying it is a gamble. There's no doubt it's a gamble. We said that yesterday, Roger with a D. It is a gamble, okay? But I'd rather have this gamble than the gamble you've taken or whatever that gamble might be. I don't really know what it is. Sitting home, emailing us on your computer. I would ask you, Roger with a D, what have you done to create jobs in this area? Because at this point, if this does work, then we see a sweeping change in this community. If it doesn't work, Roger with a D, this is money that would have gone to Binghamton or would have gone to Long Island. We can debate till the cows come home whether the government should be involved in investing like this. But it's happening. And I feel that if it's going to happen anyway, because Roger with a D, you ain't going to stop it, then I would like to see the money come here. That's called logic, right? That's logic. You can be against it, but if it's going to go there anyway, I would rather have it come here so that we might have the opportunity to reap the benefits. What do you feel we don't understand? What part of all of this don't we understand?
Yeah, I appreciate the email, and I
don't.
Think he lays out.
I've asked him to stop emailing me.
Listen, I appreciate all the emails, Bill. But I think Roger fairly lays out the case for, he says this is one versus the other, and I think he's accurately describing it. But I think we got into this yesterday and laid it out the same way. And you even said...
We were debating whether this should have happened or shouldn't have happened.
Right.
It's happened. So now that it's happened, the debate yesterday was it's not going to happen. It's never going to come to fruition. That was the debate yesterday.
And you said if we look back in 5 years,
and it hasn't happened,
right.
And we don't, there's going to be hell to pay because people are going to hold all of these people accountable. And Mario, who called in yesterday, said, it's been going on for years. It's never happened. It's never going to happen. You said that it should have happened within a year. Well, in my opinion, when the governor came to town and announced the deals with GE and AMS, it happened. It has happened. Now, it takes time to be able to create it, and there have been some delays. And I do think this Buffalo Billions thing and the investigation by Preet Bharara and now by DiNapoli is kind of muddying the waters a little bit. And we even talked about yesterday. There could be a stock market crash, and all of a sudden, the money just becomes a real issue for companies like AMS and GE, and the whole thing could be gone, and there could be empty buildings up there. Anything could happen, but I'm glad to see someone's trying to do something.
I wasn't critical of the fact. I was just pointing out while we were having the discussion that the official announcement came a year and 3 days ago. I wasn't saying it should have been done by now.
Hey, we all would like to see the jobs right now. Where are the jobs? And to be honest, I'm of the belief that I don't really believe it's going to. I think we said yesterday, the one thing I truly believe in is the arterial project. That's because they've blown up the buildings, they're building the bridges, and we're driving on it.
It's happening.
It is happening. I'm not even convinced the hospital is going downtown, and I won't be until it's done. And that's just me. I'm somewhat suspicious, not necessarily suspicious, but I don't believe it till I see it. Mm-hmm. And I'm hopeful, though. I'm hopeful that all this stuff is going to happen because it would turn things around for us. It might be an opportunity that maybe my son wouldn't have traveled to Denver to get a job, although I still think he would no matter what we had to offer here, to be honest.
Right.
But at the same time, don't we want our kids to be able to find a job here? And forget our kids. I mean, ourselves. Don't you want to be able to find, for yourself a better paying job or a better career, or a career that you could walk away and say, I'm satisfied here. This area has what I need.
I'll just say this because it's a whole nother debate whether or not the state should be doing it this way. It's a whole nother conversation about, did you think that you were going to get a larger star rebate if they didn't invest the money at SUNY IT? And what you said is, I think, correct. It would have just went somewhere else. So there's an opportunity here. We hope it comes to fruition.
And it's more than an opportunity. We're in the middle of it. And they're building the buildings. The money has been invested. God forbid it doesn't happen. You got to be hopeful that it does, right? And that's all we're really saying at this point, hoping that it all happens.